All right. Welcome to another episode of the Centre Circle podcast, episode 94 we're on. You got myself, Keith, hosting today. I'm here with a slightly dejected Adrian. Oh, you okay?
I'm not dejected.
No?
I'm an Evertonian now. You
All right, said that on mic, you know.
Wow.
And
no, of course I am.
I'll say we're here with a very happy Isaac as well.
I'm in a great place.
So am I. So yeah, as per usual, we're going to run through this weekend's fixtures. And I know there was a big game today, but let's start with the game that kind of set the trend for the weekend. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. Mr. Adrian, take the floor.
Hey, yo.
Boy. Boy, you know what? It was inevitable. And any Arsenal fans that really felt that we were still in this title race, they were delusional.
I mean, it's
No, mathematically,
still possible.
No, mathematically,
It's
yeah.
not over.
But when you have no strikers, and then the ones that come back, they got to gain back their match fitness. This was going to happen. And I think the problem with Arsenal, with the board and Arteta, logic ruled over desire. And what I mean by logic was they looked at the time frame that Martinelli was going to be back. Saka's on the mend. He's going to be back. We've got Kai. Kai can hold that. And then obviously Kai got get injured in Dubai with weather training. They lack that desire. And, you know, like our former guest said, Solomon said about delusional. You got to be delusional, innit? Like, you got to go for something that makes everyone think you're delusional. And whatever this backstory is around Watkins, I'm not saying Watkins was the sole answer, but whatever the backstory behind Watkins was, they're arguing over 60 mil because of his age. That's logic, right? Ruling, rather than saying, actually, we're going to need another forward player because of the injuries. 60 mil gets us over the line, possibly wins us the title, but that brings in extra money, etc. Look at the two teams. I know we're going to focus on West Ham and Arsenal in a second. The two teams that went out and actively bought in the market, which was Man City, but they're saying we need this fourth spot to get into Champions League, and Aston Villa. Because on paper, Rashford don't look a sensible signing because of his age, how much his wages are, etc.
What, even on loan? You don't think?
No, but even on loan, technically, because you still got to fork out a bit of money. But they said, you know what, we want that
Are you
full
saying
spot.
from a contract perspective?
Contract perspective, logically, it doesn't look like a great deal.
Okay.
Logically, when you look at how much he's on, what's going on in the background, the amount of games he's played, he's going to come in, maybe not match sharp, etc., etc. But Villa...
Now you're straddling two, because if it's an off-field thing and it's just the papers, the numbers side, I can kind of understand. But on field side, he's not really had a chance to prove himself. And then if you look at him now, he's come in ready to go. So
and I'm not disputing that, but that's what I'm saying. When you're looking at it logically, you're saying he's not had much game time, so match fitness ain't going to be there. The rumours in the background that he's a bit disruptive, he's not training properly. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just telling you what it looks like. But Villa's turned around and said, we need to secure this fourth spot. So we're going to go get Asensio and Rashford to help us get that fourth spot.
And Marlon as well.
Yeah? There you go. And City's gone. We're going to go get Mamouche, Gonzalez, and who's the other guy they signed?
Kusanov.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, that's it. So now we go back to the game now. Remember, all in the summer, all the experts and non-experts said, Arsenal need another striker, another forward player. We do the logic thing, we signed Sterling. Logically, experience. No, if he hits form, that's a good deal, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hasn't been really given a chance, but fair enough. It hasn't worked out. Then we've had the January window. You need a striker. But logically, they're going, oh, got these guys coming back, and we're going to have more money in the summer to spend. We're going to try and get a deal over the line, but actually, we've got enough. And it hasn't been enough.
Okay, so let's park the transfer bit first for a second. Go to the team that was put out yesterday. And granted, like I said in the group, I expected Arsenal to lose or to drop points before the end of the season. Yeah. But I didn't expect them to drop points in this game. Why do you think it was that this was one of the games?
I think...
you can't just say it's because we haven't got a striker because it goes beyond that.
No, it's been like this all season. And what I mean by like, we've been getting through games all season with this kind of knocking on the door, get the draw, scrape the win. It's been quite a resilient season for Arsenal. But it's very predictable. You lot brought it up last week about Odegaard being the captain, not taking the game by the scruff of the neck or doing that little bit more to get us over the line.
Now he's being accused of hiding from some Arsenal quarters.
No, I think that's been harsh. I think the way he plays, it just hasn't been his season overall. Like the numbers shows that it hasn't been his season. He's been okay, but I remember before that we had the discussion who's the most important player at Arsenal, and I said it was Saka. And it's come to light. It's evident. Like everyone thought because Odegaard keeps it ticking, but Saka was still turning up with moments, clutch moments, assists or a goal. So it was predictable. West Ham set up to do, what's the Muhammad Ali tactic? The rope-a-dope? That's what it was.
I think it's unfair to say it was a smash and grab job.
No, I'm not. I never said it was a smash and grab. I said it's a rope-a-dope. They absorbed a lot of pressure and then hit us. It's not.
And then went back to absorbing pressure. It's essentially smash and grab.
But no, it worked.
We're going to hit you.
No.
I'd say smash and grab is where you're proper on the ropes, like you're not throwing much. Where I watched the
predictable.
Game.
They had 5-6 guys in the middle of the box to take the headers up.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're saying the same thing essentially. I'm saying it was more than a rope-a-dope, essentially is what I'm saying.
No, but rope-a-dope weren't smash and grab. If you remember the whole, when Muhammad Ali spoke about the rope-a-dope, he said, I'm going to take all the power. We sat on the rope, absorbed all the power from the punches, and then when he got tired, then took him out. They absorbed all the attack. They said, yeah, come, we know what you're going to do. And if you saw it, Wan-Bissaka was high.
You know what? He gave Calafiori a bad afternoon. And I was so
Him and
surprised.
Kudos.
Like, before the goal, there was a bit where Wan-Bissaka flicked the ball over Calafiori's head. I was like, nah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why? How did he enjoy it like this?
The game plan was he was the outlet. Him and Kudos was the outlet every single time. As soon as the ball got intercepted, he was on his bike, gone. Every time, whether it got to him or not, but he was gone. And then they hit us. The ball was perfect for Bowen. Got the diving header. And then that's it. You see what I'm saying? So it was a very good tactical setup. It was very predictable. Kept them going wide. The pattern of play is just there. I think everyone's got the sequence of play that Arsenal does. Go wide, come back in. He came on late, and I think if he came on a bit earlier, he may have asked a little bit more question, which was Ben White overlapping. I think he had that overlap and he took that strike.
Yeah,
but,
the chance
but it was just predictable. We was coming inside and then trying to do the deep cross to the back post for the header or the set down, the flick on. So it was predictable and boring about Arsenal. Yeah. And that's it.
So Isaac, from what you saw, and I want you to touch on the subs that Arteta made as well. So he brought on Zinchenko and Lewis Skelly at the same time. And a lot of people would have thought that Lewis Skelly would have got into midfield rather than Zinchenko. But he put Lewis Skelly at left back. Maybe because he's been playing quite well. But I guess naturally, would have thought that would have been the better position for him.
Has he ever played there before at this level?
Not in the first team, but that's his natural position. But overall, what do you think of Arsenal?
I don't think
if he's never played there, and I don't think in a game like that, I don't think if he's ever played there, Arteta especially is not going to bring him.
I think it's a lot more simpler than that. Zinchenko against Kudos and Wan-Bissaka physically. No. Zinchenko's losing that battle all day.
You say Zinchenko losing that battle, none of your players won that battle yesterday.
This is what I'm saying. So
Kudos' hold-up play yesterday was at an elite level that I've not really seen him do much. Like, normally he'd get the ball
100%.
Not head down, but he's very forward thinking.
But this season, we've seen examples from Lewis Skelly of physically being able to match his opponent physically. So if I'm going to choose who I'm going to put physically to match those two players, I'm picking Lewis Skelly every single time.
Fair enough. And the red card, no qualm to that?
No. To be fair, when I saw the yellow, I was like, whoo, we got away with that one. I was like...
You've had one.
I was like, whoa. And then obviously VAR exists. And then that's it.
Yeah, fully justifiable. Like, I've seen a few quarters saying that, it's too far from goal, etc. But you've got to hold your hands up and say,
yeah,
it's a red card. I guess upset it had to be him.
I think if Raya was in goal, I think that may have changed and what I mean in the box, in the goal area, because he was by the halfway line running back. That may have given option, but for me,
Right, I see. I
How
get you.
so?
Just because what they were saying, he was clean through on goal,
Mm-hmm.
and even though that would have been the other
goalkeeper's position shouldn't affect it then.
Yeah, but he can't use his hand. Where he was in no man's land, literally. Like, literally, in the area, he can use his hands. It's so far from the area, the goalkeeper's in there.
I think he gets sent off no matter where.
No, but I hear you. But that's the only thing I thought may have changed it if he was in the area. But other than that, it was a red card, straight red. So I weren't upset about that red card at all.
So when Yeri went off, looked like he had an injury. We don't know whether it's long term or anything. He tried the Merino experiment up front, which I was quite surprised about myself, to be honest. What do you think he needs to do against Nottingham Forest on Wednesday?
We'll stick with that experiment, right? So there's no change there. There's nothing, unless we go out and get a free signing, there's nothing, or play one of the youngsters and play him up front, who is a natural striker. Now, the problem is he tactically ready for that? Is he physically ready for that? We don't know. Sometimes this is where you find a diamond in the rough, right? But
yeah, very true.
But this is it.
What do you think they went wrong at that?
Part of me thinks they've given up on the title race. Part of me. These are the games that you really have to win. Let's be honest, West Ham are not fighting for anything other than a league position. You know, further away from the relegation zone. Arsenal we're in the championship end of the season now. I know we've got 11 games to go, 12 for most. These are the moments where Arteta will essentially define his career. If he's not able to G them up or set them up in a way that they can dominate, and I know there are things that go against them, obviously a lack of a recognised first team striker, injuries to key players, i.e. Saka, and then, players coming back. You still have to find a way. And if you're not going to find a way, how long before questions are asked of Arteta as a manager at Arsenal and also of the team in general?
Yeah.
How long before we get to that point where it's, they're challenging and progressing, or no, actually they've either plateaued or they're actually regressing. So I think West Ham Potter set them up to just like, there's no fear here. But
what's the difference?
There's no, it's not a respect thing. We're gonna come out here, we're gonna play football, and we want the 3 points the same way you lot did. Like you said, Wan-Bissaka had fun. Kudus looked like he was a boy amongst men. I mean, a men amongst boys. So, yeah, it was good to watch. It was good to see. Obviously, as from a Liverpool perspective,
very good.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. To be fair,
just as a footballing fan, it was a little disappointing to see that Arsenal couldn't just control it, dominate, and then get the win.
I just think it's just one too many things against us. Like you said, Kaya's injured, Saka's injured. But that aside, we haven't actually been playing good football. We've been very resilient, but we haven't been playing good football for a long time. In the sense of free flowing, and that's all based on the injuries, and then those things creep in. I think those things creep in after a while.
All right, so I've got two further points I want to get your thoughts on. So the first one, let's say Arteta manages to win the Champions League. How much credit does that give him, considering there are so many Arteta out Arsenal fans at the minute?
I think that buys him another 3 years.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And would you be happy with that?
Of course they would. They've never won it. They've never won it.
No, but you would be happy with that because that shows that the decision to appoint him was the correct one. How we get there, however we win it, we've won it, right? But like me and John and I were saying was that question has to be asked of him now about the mentality that he's instilling in the players. And it's kind of reminiscent of having all the right ingredients. Like, we've got a very good defense. We've got a solid midfield. When the entire front line's there, it's a very good front line. You understand? Not the best, but a good front line. And now we're here. And like I said, you had January to rectify it, and we didn't. So it gives him another 2-3 years. I think because the question is now, a lot of people say, and the Kroenkes have shown that they backed Wenger for how long? Look how long it took them to get rid of Wenger.
Yeah.
You understand? And then
I
Emery
mean,
was...
it cost a lot of money to get rid of the second most expensive manager
I-
in the
but-
world.
And this is why, if any Arsenal fans come in and talk about, the Kroenke out, whatever, they've been decisive when the moment's needed. So when it came to like that, Emery wasn't the right guy, they got rid of him. When it came to like that, certain backroom staff, directors and technical directors weren't the right people, they got rid of them and replaced them. You see what I'm saying? So no one can ever say the Kroenkes haven't been decisive. No one can ever say that the Kroenkes haven't been, and I'm going to upset a load of Arsenal fans, they haven't spent money. They've spent money. Under Wenger was spending 100 mil a season. You understand what I'm saying? So no one can ever say that we haven't spent money. It's just that at the key moments, we've used logic over heart and desire.
Yeah, that's true. And then if we go back to your transfer business or lack thereof, so we all know that Arsenal need a striker going forward.
Mhm.
We know, looking at the market, that's going to cost you upwards of 80 million, say, for a ready-made
70 up,
coming in. We're kind of seeing other positions in your team are kind of falling behind, say, like Liverpool's and kind of
what
the top.
midfield? What
Yeah,
position?
so I would say your midfield and your wide left. So if you just buy a striker, do you not think you also need to buy a ready-made, say, centre midfielder to replace Partey, or a ready-made wide left? So it doesn't only become a striker issue now, it becomes a three position issue.
You know what makes the situation interesting? I'm not a fan of Zubimendi, but Martin Lewis Skelly makes that situation interesting because we know he's actually a centre midfielder by trade.
Mhm.
So Partey makes way, Jorginho makes way. Then we know Marino's there as support or whatever. Does that step up into central midfield? Does that rule out the question? Because initially it was kind of similar to you lot, right? You lot felt you needed another centre midfielder, and you still technically do.
Yeah,
but Gravenberch has
stepped up.
and proved everyone. So what we've seen of Martin Lewis Skelly, technically is very good, physically is very strong, IQ is very high.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So you're saying a pre-season in centre midfield, he could potentially solve one of those issues.
Could solve one of those issues.
And then what about wide left?
A wide left was that needed rectifying from before anyway. From the start of this season, it did. Remember, I wanted Nico Williams, even though he hasn't had a great season, but I did say we need a wide left forward because the problem with Trossard's not physical enough. Very good IQ, but athleticism, he hasn't got it, and Martinelli hasn't got the IQ per se. So we always needed that situation to be resolved anyway and addressed.
And if you get a recognised forward and a wide left to compete with Martinelli, is Arteta the guy to utilise him properly next season?
Yeah, I think when you look at it,
there's the hesitation there.
No, but I'm trying to think of like what did you mean by utilising correctly? Because if you actually check it, I think if he had another profile, he would use him. I don't think he's afraid to drop a player and put someone else in that place, etc. So I think what kept Martinelli in the team is his athleticism. He's up and down, attacking, defending. So he does the doggy work where Trossard can't do that. So I think he would use him. He's not afraid to use him either.
Fair enough. Well,
remember, a certain pundit was questioning him putting in Ethan Nwaneri so early. And now look at Ethan Nwaneri. He's brought him in, he's played him.
Yeah, no.
I think he could use him a bit earlier, but it's worked out the time he's used him. Martin Lewis Skelly as well. No one saw that one coming through, and now everyone's thinking, boy, he's a sure starter now.
What's going on with this discipline record of you lots?
The most red cards
since Arteta's been the manager. 20.
By 5.
20.
It's part of it. Look, I'd be a hypocrite to argue. If you see me on a Saturday, I should have a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them things, isn't it?
It's just, we're very physical, very aggressive.
But you lot complain about other teams being physical.
Who?
Arsenal.
When? Don't do that. Don't lie. No, Arsenal.
Am I lying?
About who's Arsenal complained about being physical? Arsenal does
so were you lot not complaining about Newcastle?
What being when? I never saw that.
Yeah, there has been discourse about Newcastle roughing up Arsenal when they play each other.
But we've both been physical in that game. I don't. For me, I I'm not complaining.
But to be fair, like
because we don't get before in the past, it used to be Arsenal get physically bullied. We don't get physically bullied like that no more. But Newcastle is physically bullying pretty much 80% of the league anyway.
But it does give you a handicap though. Like you get the red cards, the player's missing for
Yeah.
There you go.
1, 2, 3
I know,
games.
most
So
definitely.
you need to.
But I think
sort
that the
out to
issue
some
with the
degree.
red cards is some of them is evidently been given out incorrectly
One.
by the letter of the law. But the Rice one shouldn't have been given. It got given.
Trossard, you can say that one.
No, you know what? I personally felt Trossard kicked it away.
Fair enough.
So,
but yeah, West Ham. Thank you very much, Mr. Bowen. I take it all back. Right, moving on to today's game. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 2.
Zoop, zoop, zoop.
Isaac, over to you.
What more can I say other than it's over? It's over. It's a wrap. Don't cry. Don't beg, Jackie. It's over. I'm a bit. The only kind of a shock or surprise that I have is that City weren't maybe as potent as they should have been. They had options. They had the opportunities.
Yeah.
Doku had Trent on
Had him on skates. I'm not gonna lie.
on a dry roast for 45 minutes. And, I saw the first 2 chances where we got at him and I said, oh, this is going to be one of those games. We're going to concede and it's going to come down our right-hand side.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we didn't. But it just looked like from the goal, Doku has been told they've got no right back on the bench. Bradley's injured. Gomez is done. He's down. Get at Trent. Put him under pressure. He's just fresh back off of injury. Like, really work him.
And you've been back for like 4 games now.
Yeah, but
Don't do that.
His minutes have been managed. Like, all right, cool.
He's been back for 4 games. Like, don't play the
Okay, fine.
violin.
He's been back for 4 games.
Thank you.
All right.
He's come
Okay.
off, but he's been back for 4 games. He's
All
match fit.
right.
Don't do
Anyway,
that.
as I was saying, it was clear that the game plan was to just get at him and just see what happens from that. And, fortunately, we had Konate and Van Dijk marshalling and providing support. I also noticed Gravenberch dipping in there, McAllister getting involved and putting in the hard yards. So that managed to obviously quell that or keep that issue at bay. And outside of that, I didn't really see anything else from City. There wasn't. De Bruyne was kind of a ghost.
He must be so badly injured or something, or Karen's. I don't know. Because like you said, he was a ghost.
I don't know if it's the injury. I mean, that may be a part of it. It may also be confidence.
I think
it may
he's
also
checked out.
be.
Because his contract's up at the end
There
of
you
the
go.
season.
That's what I think it is.
And I think
he's checked out.
I think he knows that Man City are not at the level
They should be.
they should be.
So why am I putting 100% when it's not going to amount to anything, right?
Yeah. And because he's like, I wouldn't say his body was properly breaking down last season, but he had that really long injury. And even when he came back, he wasn't the De Bruyne that we knew of previous.
I don't think he's checked out. I think certain players like him, I think pride takes place in his footballing. I just think physically he can't do it because he's been back for a while. Some games he don't even come on. Like, and I don't think it's like, oh, we don't need him. I think physically he can't do it. Like what I noticed today,
but then there's also
he's picking up little pockets and playing okay passes, but nothing defense splitting.
There's also a point where you can check out, or we're not going to win the league this season, so I'm not going to do 110%, or I'm not going to you're right. There is a pride. There is a pride level here. Maybe I'll only do so much, and this is just freestyling. My contract's up at the end of the year. I'm gonna go and look for another team that's gonna pay for me. Just ride out the season.
Yeah, you don't want to be injured, risking that free transfer money.
You don't want to be injured. You don't want to just you just know. All right, I might give an effort over in these games, or I might do. No one knows. I know. It might sound a bit mad, but I find it hard to believe that it's an injury issue.
I think when I watched that game, it was just so bad. Like the levels that Man City has dropped off. Like I remember at the start of the season, everyone was like really hyping. I had them to come third. Remember, I was like, I don't see them coming anywhere near the top two because I think they've just dropped off. A lot of players are older.
Yeah, there's that. They're
But
in
I
a
think
rebuild.
the quality that's in there, and that happens. That everyone goes through that period where you keep on buying, and eventually the quality just drops off. Right, you can't get that
Yeah.
quality for a little while.
I think the quality is there. I think it's just the player IQ.
There was quality there. They have good
That's
players.
what I mean. So
So I'm in terms of like physical profile of the player, yeah. But if you miss the IQ of Kevin De Bruyne at his height, you miss the IQ of like Rodri, what he can do. You miss the IQ of, let's say, even Grealish when he's at his best. You know what I mean? You'd say they don't really. So like if you take the Doku example, Doku got past Trent, I think 8 times. I think the graphic said by like the 60th minute.
Yeah.
How many times did he put in a successful cross? Or like a lot of time he got past him and then went back. So I think it's like the profile of players there, but you need the IQ of that top level
back.
player.
Did he play centre back today?
Yeah, Uzmanov, is that his name?
Kusanov.
Oh, he's bad.
But he's 20. Like I think you got to give people a bit.
I don't think he's bad. I think he's got the ability. I just don't think. I think the
Rico
timing
Lewis.
of him coming into the squad, he's not been afforded the opportunity to learn because a lot of players won't go straight in unless they're very high profile. A lot of players will come in and they'll minutes and they'll work their way up to 90 minutes because they've got to get used to the players around them and the system.
And
Rico
also as well,
Lewis.
if you look at Nico Gonzalez, the new guy, and the new centre back, they're kind of a bit of an anomaly because most people that parachuted into the City squad come into a high performing City squad.
Yeah.
So everything around them's like nice. They've come into like
And they make
the
it
Maya in
innit?
it. Like so it's like these
Don't
City
worry,
players have got to try and raise
yeah,
themselves,
yeah.
and they've got to embed the new players. So I kind of understand that. So yeah, if we go back to Liverpool, they go 1-0 up through a well-worked corner. McAllister drills it to Szoboszlai, flicks it onto Salah, gets a bit of luck. I think it flicks on Ake. Go 1-0 up. And then 20 minutes later, they go 2-0 up. Ball out from Trent to Salah, who finds Szoboszlai, who we were talking about last week, should be getting more goals.
Indeed.
Popped up with a goal and an assist today from Szoboszlai. And then at the start of the second half, Liverpool have a goal ruled out for offside. Curtis Jones.
Was offside,
Yes,
you know.
It was touch. It was
the foot?
Yeah,
It's
Szoboszlai
offside.
was offside. Nah, he was offside.
I'm not saying that I'm the fan of the rule, but it's offside.
But what was interesting, after that goal was disallowed, it's like Liverpool would like have the ball because they knew Man City couldn't have that killer penetrative pass. They had a few chances, etc., but it was nothing to worry about where we've gone to City before and I'm on the edge of my seat like,
someone's going to
like something's going to happen. There's going to be a moment of brilliance from someone. And it was just like, we can let them have the ball and we can manage this out for the next half an hour. And Endo came on and it's been really good when the few cameras that he had just to do that dirty work. And we know that he's going to do it to a high level.
Yeah.
And you need those kind of players to kind of get you over the line.
Did he need to be at a high level today though?
No, but just to be switched on. When I say high level, I just mean switched on, getting your foot in and getting that interception.
Wasn't that hard for you today?
No, but you still got to do it though. I hear what you're saying because of the opposition wasn't the best, but if you're not performing, that through ball gets through in it. Like that's what I'm saying. He'd come in.
But the quality of the through ball weren't even good anyway. Like, come on,
that doesn't matter whether the quality is good or not. You still got to be switched on because they're players that can execute at any given moment.
It's a Wonder League. Oh my gosh!
Why are you upset?
Look how you do. Oh, you have to execute at a very high level.
Oh, is it because you haven't seen it of late? Is that why you're the three-peat in second place?
Really, okay,
it's been so long that they've won anything.
We're dragging, but anyway, go on. So,
we're having a
and Alisson was like full concentration.
Of course. You see Van Dijk as well. Van Dijk was the ultimate
we had a
sweeper.
balanced conversation around Arsenal, you know.
I know.
We
allowed him to talk.
Yeah, I know.
We just let him get it off his chest. I'm telling you now, Virgil has got that sweeper centre-back position on lock. He just cleans up everything. He makes Rio look like a pauper.
No, he had a good game. Him and Kanate were very good. Like the corners that were coming in, crosses, they done very well. Interview midweek with Sky Sports, Slot said they've identified the positions that they want to address in the summer. For me, left back, I think Robbo and Simicas, great servants. They can be upgraded. I would get another centre back just because of Gomez's injury record. I don't think Quanta's at the level yet. He may not even get there.
It's a tipping one, isn't it? That was in the balance.
Yeah, like he could either become
Really
like
good.
dependable,
Yeah.
or he could fall off. And just And the number 9 position, I still think we. I think today's a bit of an indictment that he didn't play Jota Nunes.
Yeah.
From the start, like he played Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones swapping the. Well, essentially, Szoboszlai said that we played 2 10s, didn't it? So we didn't have a striker, and I think that's a big indictment of where Slot's thinking. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do in the summer. I never want to say it's over. It's over.
It's over. The most dullest
and
title.
The reason why
that asterisk, bruv. Remove it.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because we've got 11 games left. We've got 7 at home. We've got 4 away. And because we can drop points, and because Arsenal were not at full capacity.
Yeah.
So
we're not putting in performances to make you not feel like under pressure.
Yeah,
we're not tearing the team apart on the pitch. So.
Yeah. And if you take it holistically, Liverpool have only lost 1 game where it's really properly meant something.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Like, because the Champions League, we already qualified.
Yeah.
Plymouth was a second string team. And the Tottenham game was like half time of a 2
still meant something. We're out of the cup.
Yeah, but if we'd lost that 3-0 against, so you talk about Plymouth, you mean?
Yeah.
No, but I mean in terms of your first 11. So they haven't gone out and experienced more than 1 loss.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. But yeah, Liverpool in a good position to win the league, and I think it'd be very surprising if they didn't go.
Yeah, that would be crazy if you lost that.
Very surprising.
I can't see it.
All right, moving on to another one.
I'm a bit worried about second.
So just before we move on, so what do you think about the game on the 10th of May?
Is that Liverpool Arsenal?
Yeah.
Do
you think that would be a title decider, or it'd be over by then?
Hopefully it's over by then. They're giving us a guard of honour. Oh, I'd love that.
Can you imagine?
Because you won it at your ground, right? So you need something back. You need something back.
Imagine that's the game we need to win to
win
the title.
Won it at Anfield, right?
That's too late for me. Could that be like, 3 games left? 3, 4 games? No. 3 games left.
You know what though? You know the type of person Arteta is. That no guard of honor will be taking place. Arteta's petty.
Nah, but you have standard, but you have to.
Ooh.
It's etiquette for the league. Like you can't.
Brother.
You can't.
It's not etiquette for the league.
But when we won the league last, we played like 5 games, and every team gave us a guard of honor.
Yeah, that was silly. That's just teams begging.
Wow, but he's got hate in his heart today, ain't he? Hate in his heart.
I know. If I was manager, I'd be like, guard of honor for nothing. Let them get that elsewhere, not from us.
Moving on from bitter Adrian
to
one of today's games. Today's other game, a thriller up at St James's Park. Newcastle 4, Nottingham Forest 3. Can you guys see that? Or do you want me to...
I just saw some of the highlights. All I'm saying, battle for 4th is so exciting right now.
Yeah. To be fair, I was hoping that Nottingham Forest would win this game. But if they had won, they'd only be 3 points behind Arsenal going into the game against you midweek.
Yeah.
But they might put in a shift on Wednesday still. But so Nottingham Forest took the lead through Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
Pretty good goal. And then there was a bizarre 13 minutes where Newcastle just came out the blocks.
Everything that they done.
Everything they touched just turned to gold in this 13 minutes. So Miley got the equaliser. I think it was his first start in a year. So nice control and finish with the left foot.
Yeah.
Gets the equaliser. And then Jacob Murphy bundles the ball over the line to make it 2-1. And then Aina gives away a penalty that Isak takes. Have you guys seen the penalty?
No, I missed it.
So he tried to do a Panenka, but what's his name? Sells was kind of
Off his line.
no, you're kind of off balance.
Yeah.
But the Panenka had so much pace. When Sells got a hand to it, it still went in. Like, it was a really bad penalty. And Sells would be a little bit gutted. And Isak was quite fortunate. And then Willock stormed down the left-hand side, passed it inside to Isak, who made it 4-1 a minute after scoring that penalty. And you just think, wow, like what's happened here? Nottingham Forest, who have been quite resilient.
Hard to break down.
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of been blown away. And then second half comes out and it's like Newcastle kind of stopped playing. Like Nottingham Forest growing confidence into the game. Milenkovic, makes it 4-2. And then late on, Ryan Yates makes it 4-3. And Newcastle see out the game. But it was a topsy-turvy game. It was a really good match, actually. I think Newcastle will be pleased that they've got the win. That moves them to within excuse me. That moves them to within
3 points.
3 points of Nottingham Forest, level with Manchester City on 44 points, and essentially in that 5th spot, which should be enough to get Champions League next season. Nottingham Forest, as I said, we'll see it as a missed opportunity to close the gap on Arsenal, considering they're playing Arsenal midweek. It's tight from 3rd down to even 4th. So it's tight from 3rd down to let's say 8th, where Aston Villa on 42. So Aston Villa on 42 points, Nottingham Forest on 47 points. And we've seen with these teams chasing, the point swing could be gone in like 2 or 3 games. Like it's really close. Do you think both or either of these teams will make it into let's say the top 4? Let's say Champions League is top 4. Can Newcastle and/or Forest?
I think it's a yes.
For who?
For Forest is there, right?
Yeah, but they're on 47 points. Manchester City 44, Newcastle 44, Bournemouth 43, and we'll come to Bournemouth. No one expected Bournemouth to lose this weekend.
I think, but this is what's making this little race really exciting because they're all taking points off of each other, and then they're dropping points to other teams that you wouldn't expect them to drop points to. So I think what it is. Newcastle's got Isak, right, and I think that's going to be the difference maker.
The Forest have Wood.
Yeah, but what it is. The difference between Wood and Isak is Isak can really do something by himself, like beat 2 guys and score the winner. Where Wood,
he's more focal, but he's in the box, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
Like Isak can pick up the ball
from the halfway line.
Yeah.
And I hear that, but then that's what Elanga and Hudson-Odoi.
But they got that
and
as well.
Gibbs White.
But they got Gordon and Murphy to do that as well.
Exactly. But then, so here's the thing. Just to that point, if Isak's halfway down the field, I understand that he's not going to be doing a pick up the ball like the goalie that he assisted at Everton for, was it Callum Wilson or Jacob Murphy?
Yeah.
Jacob Murphy. Where he's beat everyone on the byline and then up the goal line. That's not going to be every week. And if he's in the positions where he's too deep with the ball and relying on Gordon and Jacob Murphy.
But what we're saying, that's why I think that in his locker.
No, he's got that, but that doesn't negate. I don't think that gives Newcastle a better advantage because Chris Wood's still up there and scoring goals at the same rate as Isak.
I just think that's the small difference. That in a really tight game, Isak can just do that out of nowhere. And I think where Woods, he needs the service to do that.
I don't think he needs the service because I think he can do. He's not going to pick up the ball from the halfway, but he can still create something.
Yeah. I think they'll both score goals. It's just the type of goals might be very different that they score. And Isak might just have that little bit extra about him to create something out of nothing. So Newcastle move up and Nottingham Forest stay in 3rd position. Moving on to another one of Saturday's games. The early kickoff, Everton 2, Manchester United 2. Man United. Oh
I
no.
saw something that said that Ruben Amorim coached the loss. The players saved him.
Yeah, I saw that too.
What is okay? So let's go. Let's just talk about the first half first because Everton were very good. Man United were really bad. You've been an advocate of Moyes since his return to Goodison Park. What do you think it was about that first half that put them in such a good place?
I think one, Moyes just increased the intensity of the players. Two, Amorim's system allows so much space. And I think what they don't know how to do is how to kind of react to the second phase or if there's a mistake. So then Everton set up a really good press, consistently pressing in numbers and blocking out the options. And United didn't really know what to do to get out of that situation. They couldn't really go long because neither of the strikers were able to hold it up. Did they have someone in there enough to switch the play? Who was a deep line midfielder, so like Ugarte and Casemiro. That's not in there. So it was just, I think what Moyes has done is just injected a bit of intensity, a bit of belief, and actually let's just go for it. I think it's a bit, funny, it was a bit like just rock and roll. It was like, let's just go for it. We're going for it, we're going for it. It lacks a bit, after the press, it lacks a bit of game management, in-player game management to say, all right, we've done a lot now, let's just kind of tighten up the ship. But other than that, I think that's the difference. He's just got real intensity into them and got them believing. I think his man management's been really spectacular. Like Beto, you wouldn't think Beto was the same striker 10 months ago. Like Beto looks like he can really play and could make a move to another club the way he's playing at the moment if he keeps on. And
I think he's always looked like he's had something.
No,
I don't know, you know.
Nah, for me, because Mateta was the same. He looked like he looked like he was all over the place, couldn't score for love nor money, and then all of a sudden he's scoring. Beto was the same. He was getting opportunities. In order for him to be missing, he still needs to be put in the right spaces or fashioning the right chances, but he just wasn't able to put the ball in the net.
No, but there's being busy and then there's knowing decisively what you're doing when you're being busy. So like the angles you're taking up, the runs and how you're pressing the centre. Before he's like, I'm pressing the centre back, but I'm just pressing him. Now he's like, all right, I'm not even going to close you down. I'm going to close down this angle, but it's going to cause you a problem.
But that's the coaching aspect. That's not necessarily the ability of the player.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Moyes is taking him and man management and spoken to him about these little things that you need to do. Everyone's got the physical attributes. It's about how it's implemented in the game, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And speaking about he opened the scoring to put Everton 1-0 up. And then Decore takes advantage of another error. I think it's 5 or 6 errors leading to goals now this season.
I don't want to be reactionary, although I've probably already said it in the past and be like, Onana is a pile of garbage, but there has to be something about Man United as a club, the environment, or just whatever.
What did I say in the group chat yesterday?
These players come in and look an absolute nightmare, and then they leave, and all of a sudden they're decent again. Yeah. There's something, because Onana didn't look like this at Inter or Ajax.
I know, it's like it's mad. You know what? It seems like a lot of them are playing with fear. Like if you the fear to make the mistake, and because they don't want to make a mistake, they're making mistakes, and then they're not reacting to the mistakes.
Yeah.
And like if you see the goals, like like you said, the second phase, like the second balls. If you don't win the first one, try and win the second one. Yeah. They didn't do that with the first goal. Onana makes the mistake, and his defenders are watching him. And the core is like, mine, up for the header. and puts them 2-0 up. And granted to them, they came out in the second half and they looked a little bit more controlled with what they were doing. They were fortunate with a free kick, I would say, just because it might have been Decore who blocked the ball with his arm, wasn't it? Yeah. The first free kick. Like, everyone knows nowadays you don't jump up with your hands in the air because the free kick's going to be given. So essentially, like an American football, they were given an extra 10 yards to take the free kick. And granted, it was a very good free kick from Fernandes. And then I think the second goal comes from a corner.
Yeah.
It's played in, it's headed out. And Ugarte, fair play to him. Didn't have much time, but controlled with his chest. And a nice strike with the left to make it 2-2. And then we get to the VAR incident in injury time, where if I'm looking at it in real time, I thought it was a penalty. And
even after the slowdown, I still think it's a penalty.
And it's weird that I'm saying this, but it's like it feels like the penalty wasn't given because Ashley Young was too theatrical with the fall.
Yeah.
Where if he gets fallen naturally, there's no doubt in VAR or the referee's mind. Because his shirt's been pulled and he's essentially been sandwiched by 2 players. So what's your take on the penalty incident?
Yeah, I definitely thought it was a penalty. The shirt pulled twice, and then they're not saying is Harry Maguire actually held his hip as well. The theatrics didn't help the situation at all, but it was definitely, there was 3 attempts there and he should have won. He should have been given a penalty. But it was just really weird that it just felt like VAR really intervened to stop it, to find a way that, and I'm sure their intervention is meant to be clear and obvious, right?
Yeah, very much so. And yeah, I don't think it was enough of an error.
Yeah.
To say, no, we need to
intervene.
Intervene and overrule that. So, Amrin I know he salvaged the point here, but what more does he need to do? Like, we've spoken about his system, he's still persistent with it. They've got a few injuries, nothing major, like Mainu's out, but that shouldn't derail
what you're doing.
What you're doing. We thought Garnacho was going to be
starting,
be the guy. He hasn't started the last few games. Ahmad's out as well, sorry. I know Ahmad's a bit of a miss. You've relied on Ahmad quite a lot over the last couple months. What does he need to do to get things ticking?
Their players are not buying. They're not buying into the system, and if they are, then they're not good enough to execute it. It's a little too late. So the thing is, if you give up on your system now and revert back to a 4-4-2, you're kind of selling out your system, essentially, or your idea, or your philosophy. This style of play that you've brought in, and that's what you said. That's what it's been known. That's why they've brought you in, because they want you to play something different. If you change out of that, you're going to lose momentum behind that, and you're kind of going to have to hope you get it back in the summer. The problem is that coming in and changing to a free centre back lineup with this set of centre backs was a catastrophe waiting to happen. Moving forward, what in terms of solution, you just have to. You have to find a way via a tweak. In what you currently have, something small, but that's going to provide you with more cover and protection for your defense.
Yeah, I think there's so much space, and
it has to be.
This, like when I'm watching them, I'm like, how much? All the opposition end up with 10 yards around him, 10 to 15, and like they've got so much time on the ball. There's
Corey had a jolly first half.
Oh my God, it was so easy for him. But then we say that, but then even if we look at their best manager and the greatest Prem manager, how many times did Ferguson change the formation for the players that he signed? Remember, he changed the setup for when Veron got signed?
Yeah.
Remember when he changed the system slightly to protect Blanc? So Jose changes systems. All these managers change systems if they feel that it's going to get the results. You understand what I'm saying? And they may revert back later on down the line to the formation, but they will change the system until they got the personnel, the profile players to do it.
The only problem with that is that I think for Amorim, the hat has been hung on this 3-4-3.
Yeah.
So
he can't.
Even if he does what you say, which is the right thing to do, which is, look, I don't have the personnel right now, so let me just work with what I do have and set them up in a way that highlights their strengths.
Yeah.
It's too late. He kind of has to live and die by this 3-4-3.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
And we say Pep changes his formation, tweaks the tactics slightly.
He does, but he doesn't. He never came in on this. I'm going to play 4-3-3, and that's going to get us out of this, and it's going to take us to the promised land.
And I played this no matter what. He said, I've got to have a ball playing goalkeeper, and he stuck by that. But other than that, he's always
That's it.
he's gone 3 at the back. He's gone 5 at the. He's gone 3 in the mid. Like he's always.
Yeah, and that's what makes the best managers. And like we know, Amorim's only managed in Portugal. Was it Braga first, and then Sporting? And I think it's quite easy to stick to your style somewhere like that because of the competition of the league, essentially. Like it's not as multifaceted as what the Premier League is now.
Yeah.
Like if you go back 20 years ago, teams down in 20th and 19th would rarely beat the teams at the top, where all that's kind of changed now. And I think the reason why you should kind of be more adaptive is because in the Premier League, you can't play the same way against every team.
Yeah.
Like
Impossible.
all the good managers,
Them days are gone.
all the good managers, they know they have to adapt. Like go back to the second leg with Newcastle and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Hal played essentially 5 at the back.
Yeah.
And he was like, we decided to do this 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Because we knew what we have to do to
Get over
nullify,
the line.
nullify Arsenal. And they're the kind of credentials that show you what kind of manager you are. And I'm not saying Amorim's a bad manager, but like you said, he's come here and hung his hat on this formation. Well, football don't work like that. You can't play. You can't just play one
but then,
formation.
To be fair, even if you hang on that formation, you could be a bit more compact. You can say, all right, we're not going to be as adventurous. We're not going to have as much gaps as we got. So rather than being such attacking with wing backs, we're going to have a quite defensive wing back set up. He's just playing the same way.
But then the issue with that is the formation by nature requires you to be forward footing. Because you've got the 3 centre backs and the wing backs drop. If you tell them to drop and defend, you lose extra manpower up top. Because essentially those wide players, and again, it also depends on personnel. If you've got wide players in those 210s, then cool. You might be able to say, all right, defenders, wing backs, you don't need to be.
But he's tried to wide players there.
No, I know, but by a lot of the times he doesn't. He usually puts more attacking in like midfielders in there. But
sometimes,
and they're not going to do that.
And I hear you, like we're sticking to the ethos and the fundamentals of that formation. But then sometimes it's like, you know what? We're just going to go with the defensive ethos of the formation, like really defensive, and just suffocate the opposition from getting chances against us.
And pick them off. Man United should be a counter-attacking team.
Yeah.
What can you imagine?
The great Man United. Well, like we know their league position's poor. What, they're 15th, 1 point behind Everton, level points with West Ham, 8 points ahead of Wolves. They're not going to get relegated.
No.
But Man United being in 15th is quite poor, considering Man United of recent eras. They're still in the FA Cup. They're still in the Europa League. Would winning one of those just be papering over cracks?
No.
Yeah. Winning it, papering over cracks.
Not at all.
You don't think so?
They win an FA Cup and finish, let's say they don't move anywhere but 15th. You're telling me that will give, as a United fan, with all this entitlement and arrogance that they have, and the giant that they used to be. So you're saying like it's not papering over cracks? I don't think that's papering over cracks. I think the way in which this season will have unfolded, I think that would be too loud.
But what it is,
that would be too loud.
And I hear you, but what I'll be hearing from the said fans and pundits, see, we've got to give the formation chance. It's there to work.
I hear that, but I feel be wrong.
These players, there's players in there. Now it's got the summer.
I think you could say that if it was the Europa League, because if you win the Europa League, you get into the Champions League. I said last week, even if they get into the Champions League, they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
But it gives you a bit. It's like, well, I've got a Champions League. Regardless of how I got there, you can still.
The FA Cup doesn't give you a Champions League anymore.
No, it gives you the Europa League. No, it never has.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do win a trophy and Arsenal don't. Anyway, moving on.
That was a jab.
Saturday's afternoon game. Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 1. Rashford and Asensio show.
Them two there, that dynamic duo, we haven't seen anything like that for Villa since Grealish and Barkley.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So, if we just do the quick recap of this one. So, Chelsea travelled up to Villa Park and they took the lead through a fairly decent Enzo goal. Like, Neto and
Yeah.
a nice run down the right. And I was surprised at how much space Enzo had
Yeah.
in the 6-yard box. Like, no, there was like 4 Aston Villa players in front of him, and like 2 behind him, and he was just like, "Thank you, empty net." And I think Chelsea were good for the lead at halftime. Played well. Aston Villa might have been a bit sluggish after their result against
Midweek,
Liverpool
yeah.
midweek, but the boy Rashford comes on at halftime for Jacob Ramsey, and 10 minutes later he sets up Asensio for his first goal for Aston Villa. So the ball's crossed in, and I think what was clever about this goal was the way he adjusted his feet.
Yeah.
Because it took a slight deflection off someone. I can't remember who it was.
And he's off balance.
Yeah,
He's
off balance.
He's moving to his left. He's had to adjust his feet in order to get the pass off. Great.
Yeah.
Great body control.
Yeah, very much so. And then, pass it back across the goal, and Asensio slides in, makes it 1-1. And then it's fairly even. Palmer had a massive chance, essentially 1-on-1 with Martinez. Martinez
he also
slips.
done well though.
Huh?
Palmer also done well.
Yeah.
With good body control as well.
Yeah,
for slipping and getting back up to your feet. And then slotting it past Martinez.
Yeah, done well. So Martinez. So Palmer's 1-on-1 Martinez. Martinez slips. Palmer slips, but gets up. Manages to get a shot off. I think it might have been Conte on the back. Managed to clear it off the line. That would have made it 2-1 to Chelsea. But in the 89th minute, Rashford just doing what he does best, just kind of attacking players, gets a cross in, and Asensio doesn't give it the best connection, but it's on target. And we've spoken about Chelsea's goalkeeping issues. Jorgensen with what can only be described as a howler. Just
that was a
lets the
Massimo
ball
Taibbi.
lets the ball squirm underneath him and essentially hands the victory to Aston Villa. And if we go back to your earlier point, Adrian, they addressed what they needed to in the January transfer window. Granted, it might have been late. Like, I think at the start of January, they didn't envision John Duran leaving them and having to kind of make these kind of deals. I think they might have maybe wanted one, so that's why they got Marlon in fairly early in the window. But John Duran goes out quite late on in the window, and they're like, right, what do we need? Who's available? And they've just gone out and done it.
Yeah.
Like, granted, they had the financial backing of the John Duran deal to pay the wages of Asensio and Rashford, etc. But as you said, sometimes you just need to go out and get what you need and deal with the consequences afterwards. And,
could you remember that CL spot is what, 100 mil?
And the rest,
and
the TV deal next year, etc.
So
and you look at like Asensio and Rashford. If you can get them for 6 months, why not?
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't work out, you can say to your fan base, look, we tried it, innit? Like, these are 2 experienced players, both have played in the Champions League. They know what it's about.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. And the way it's going, it looked like it might pay off for them. So,
because they didn't replace, they sold, what's his name? Like, was it this season, the start? The winger? Who was the other wide forward that they had? Not me.
Diaby.
No.
Diaby.
Yeah.
Diaby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they sold Diaby, and they hadn't actually replaced him fully. And then, so they've been like kind of square pegs in round hole. Like, Aaron Ramsey's been playing wide, McGinn's been playing wide, and they just said, you know what? Let's rectify it. Obviously, Bendoya, what's the Argentinian?
Bendoya.
He hasn't come back from the injury, and so they've got a guy, and Onana.
They've loaned him out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, he never came back to the potential that we thought he would be, or fulfill the potential. And then the other central midfielder, he's injured, the one that I'm not a fan of. He's okay, but the Belgium.
Onana.
Yeah. So
You're not a fan of him?
He's all right.
He started well.
He's all right. I think everyone was really admiring the physical attributes of being tall, but all-round game, he's just all right. And then Tielemans has had to drop a little bit deeper, right? So
yeah, he played pretty well. Like, I have been the biggest fan of him, to be honest, but he's
really
played. Yeah, like when they signed him, I was like, is he really going to elevate you to where you want to go? But he's a dependable Premier League central midfielder, so it's a good signing. Chelsea, so that's 2 losses in a row.
And like, I mean, they haven't won since.
No. So they beat West Ham at the start of the month. But in the last 5, they lost 3, 1, 2. So they've been on since the start of the turn of the year, they haven't been on a good run at all. And we mentioned last week as well that coincides with Palmer's form, etc.
What does the summer look like for Chelsea?
Can they even do much because of PSR? Can they do much?
I'm sure they'll find a way.
If they can sell a homegrown player, that will count.
It changes it.
I mean, let's say they get 50 for Chalobah. That's 50 million they can spend against.
João Felix is going somewhere.
Yeah.
if they haven't already got a prearranged deal with Milan, they need a goalkeeper. Like number one,
centre-back
before anything else,
goalkeeper,
a goalkeeper, and like not
but
just no buts.
No,
there's no buts.
They got Kepa.
I don't think Kepa's gonna stay.
But they have got Kepa.
Yeah, they have got Kepa, but I don't think Kepa. That would be a great turnaround if he goes back there and comes on another one. And he might want to stay at Bournemouth like next season. You never know.
That's if Iraiola's still there. Because apparently Real Madrid are keeping tabs on him.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. But yeah, I think they need a goalkeeper, number
2
one.
centre-backs.
2 centre-backs. Their midfield is good enough.
It needs work.
So let's say they're starting centre-backs, Lavia, Casado, and Endo.
Does Lavia even start?
When he's fit, he does.
Exactly, when he's fit.
But that's when they were playing good. When they had the middle 3. So I don't think
that's I think that so the reason why I think that you need to upgrade is because he's not reliable.
Availability. Yeah. And they need a 9.
Yeah. They need a 9.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is centre-back and goalkeeper. Centre-backs and goalkeeper.
Yeah. I think if they get those 2, they can manage
another season.
Yeah, with the others. But yeah, again, I think for them, do they even want Champions League? For them? Like, obviously everyone wants it, but are they going to put up a fight? No, maybe the new format, you never know, innit? But it's very, very difficult for Chelsea. And it's a shame, like, I say it's a shame. They were 1 point away from going top of the league in December, and now they're 20 points behind Liverpool. So it shows what the fall off has been like, which is crazy.
What are your thoughts on Maresca? Do you think this level is too much for him, or?
I think it's a job. I think it's a job too soon for him.
Yeah.
I think he would have been more beneficial staying at Leicester for a season
to understand the Prem.
Exactly, and like he would have had like his players. So like the Dewsbury Halls, I don't think they would like. No one would have signed Dewsbury Hall in the summer. If Maresca had stayed at Leicester, he would have had his players.
Which baffles me because he brought him to Chelsea and then he's not used him.
But he's just not levels, is he?
Yeah.
So, that's basically essentially what he said. He's saying, basically, essentially, oh my God. He's literally saying,
you're not the level.
You're not good enough.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not performing well, you're not good enough. He was my guy over there when we was with him. But over here, it's not working.
Yeah, you can't get me out of the hole. I think it's a step too far.
But there's some positives in this, right, for him. So he's got Enzo looking decent now. Like, because Enzo before I'm not saying he's great, but Enzo before, I was like, that's definitely a full waste. It's still a waste of 100 mil, but it doesn't look as bad now. Then you've got Cucurella.
Started well, but
I don't think he's been bad. No, I think he's been all right. I think he's been okay. Then obviously Nicholas Jackson, even though people criticise him, he's still getting the numbers and goals and chances before the injury. And then Cole Palmer, even though that was Pochettino.
But Palmer hasn't been as good as last season. No. So it's like slight regression.
So there are some like, and then, well, the only one who can actually really claim is Cucurella, right? Well, no, that's even a lie, because even Pochettino started getting Cucurella. Yeah, so he can't really claim no one.
None of his signings have really properly stepped up. Like Neto's just been okay.
Yeah.
João Felix got shipped out. Who else did he sign this summer? We spoke about Dewsbury Hall.
Vega, he sold.
Vega's gone.
Like, none of his Sancho. And then Sancho's, I don't think that's his
Sancho's been like a 6 at best.
Yeah, but I don't think that's
you don't give him higher than a 6. So
yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, a lot of work for
Yeah,
Chelsea to
you're
be
right.
done.
I think he should have stayed one more.
A result that I thought was a banker, or would have been a banker, for Bournemouth, turned out to be Bournemouth 0, Wolves 1.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's a banker?
Just because of the way Bournemouth have been playing.
And where Wolves has been struggling to get the results.
I thought this would have
They
been.
just got a point against Liverpool.
Who?
Wolves.
Oh, we beat them.
Did you beat them?
Yeah, we beat them 2-1. They played well in the
they
second
played
half.
well. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And they'd only
You're
lost
right,
like one game going
Trying
into
to
the
do
last
the
three.
violent thing again.
Bournemouth, and that was against Liverpool. Yeah, I thought.
I
Bournemouth
thought it
were
was
gonna
a
walk
straight.
this.
I didn't
Yeah.
look. I was like,
Right.
when I came back, I was like, what?
Yeah. I had Iriola as my assistant manager on the FPL. That's how confident I was in it. But yeah, there wasn't many chances in this game. Like nothing really stands out. Zabrani was sent off a high tackle. So on the pitch,
Yeah, it
he was
was
given
mad.
a yellow card. But then, as you said, VAR been asking referees to go to
But
the
that
screen.
challenge was wild still.
Yeah, when I saw it first off in real time, I was like, just caught him. But when you see it in slow motion,
And
over the ball,
Yeah, it was high.
above the ankle, yeah, it was a naughty challenge. And yeah, that kind of gives a momentum shift to Wolves at that point. And then the guy Cunha, for a struggling team, he's putting himself in the shop window.
Yeah, what's
Like,
that?
I don't know what position he played. Is he a 9? Is he a 10? Like what?
A false 9.
What is he?
No. 9.5.
A 9.5. Would you take him at Arsenal?
Yeah, good
Would
addition
you-
to
would
the
you-
squad.
okay.
But the problem is, he got signed for his market value, the top of it. Remember, they paid 50 mil for him, right? Wolves.
50.
Yeah,
Let me
Wolves paid 50 for him.
fact check that. Because that seems like a lot of money for Wolves to be paying. Sorry,
They did. 50.
Wow, that's mental.
So the problem is, and this is the problem with some of these players, right? Like him, Gordon, Kudos, they're all at the top of their value. Like, there's not much more.
So when you say that, you're saying you wouldn't want to pay more than what Wolves paid?
Yeah.
Or you don't think he's worth more than that?
I don't think he's worth more than that.
But you're going to have to pay more than that.
But that's why
Wolves want
that's
it.
why he's not going to get. That's why he's not going to get a move like that. I hear what you're saying, but
That's
do
interesting.
you remember?
He
Do
just
you remember
signed a new
at
contract as
Atletico
well.
Madrid? He never pull up trees there. When he first came to Wolves, he weren't pulling up trees. He was doing okay, but he weren't pulling up trees. It's only this season now.
So do you think he's different from, say, Mateta and who do we just speak about? Beto, in terms of, we've said that they've kind of needed a manager to kind of kickstart them, where he is performing under Gary O'Neill. So do you think Cunha is just kind of a level above those kind of players, like Beto and Mateta, or you're putting him in the same mix?
I put not Beto. I put him in the same mix with Mateta though.
Interesting. Would you take Mateta at Arsenal?
If we could get him for 25 mil,
João Pedro or Matthias Cunha?
Cunha.
But you take Pedro at Arsenal as well for 25 million.
For
You wouldn't get him for that, but
for 25 mil, I take it. But I think that's what Brighton signed him for, right?
yeah.
For 25 mil.
It's interesting they're both Brazilian, isn't it? Like they
Yeah.
could be playing up front for Brazil. Wolves, do we think they're safe?
Yeah.
Just based on
Yeah.
the three other teams, 5 points between them and Ipswich
Yeah.
at the minute.
They've got enough goal scorers in their team.
It's pretty much done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much done. Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 2. Really good game this.
Yeah.
I was watching
End-to-end
bits of this one. Yeah, both teams had chances. So yeah, Crystal Palace go 1-0 up with a Anderson own goal. And then Mateta has a goal disallowed at the start of the second half. Really good finish and
Good
robbed
assist.
of
A great assist.
Eze was robbed of a very good back heel assist for a marginal offside. And then, know what I like about Mateta since the Olympics? His build-up play in like the middle of the park has improved so much. Like, So the way he held up the ball and spun whoever it was to create space for Munoz for the second goal, very good. And then Munoz,
That's a gem, you know.
know
That's
what,
a good
like-
little signing.
the shimmy he does on Bassi,
So
What?
basic.
like there was no like finesse.
There's no
It was
proper
just like-
body fade. It was like he went one way and then Bassey went that way. He was like, thank you. It was such a
Oh.
basic.
He gave you like such a basic body feint and then shifts the ball onto his right foot and just drills it into the roof of the net. Like we know John has a thing about goalkeepers and their near posts, but I don't think anyone could have done anything about that. It was a really good finish by Munoz to make it 2-0. And this is a really good win for Crystal Palace. Like they've, after a very struggling start to the season, they've just kind of been steadily picking up points, moving up the table. They're 13th on 33 points, ahead of Everton, ahead of Man United, ahead of West Ham. 3 teams that you wouldn't necessarily
I
have
think
said.
they've matched Liverpool for clean sheets away from home as well. I think
really?
6 or something like
Okay,
that.
yeah, that's really good. So you asked a question in the group chat, Adrian. What do Crystal Palace need to do to build on this? I think it's just get out the blocks faster. Like that. The only reason why they're not competing with Brentford, Tottenham, Fulham is because they had such a poor start to the season.
So you think they've got the personnel to compete with them?
Yeah, I think if they keep everyone that they've got,
Some of the smiley, because there was a point that I made about Tottenham a while ago.
And they add
comparing them.
and they
That's
add
nice
to
to
it.
hear.
I think what's the name? Glasner has got a good squad.
I think the question is who can they keep, right? So can they keep hold of Mateta? Mateta's eyes are on him now. Like, and what I mean by that, I'm not saying a top team, but a team that's looking to push for Europe might think he's the answer to get them there. In the sense of good hold-up play. That assist,
Yeah.
and then he was doing it from the back end of last season. Then he had a good Olympics, and then he's had a good solid. What's he got? 11 goals?
I'll check.
I think 11 or 12 goals. He might even have 14.
So you're just saying keep the good players. So Mateta, Eze, obviously,
11 league goals.
and
11.
11 league goals.
11.
and to be fair, even with Chalobah going back to Chelsea, hasn't really derailed them
Yeah, he dropped Richards, the
that
American, in there.
much. So they might say
And then
we
the
need
new
a centre back.
The new centre back,
Lacroix.
Lacroix,
Yeah.
he's been okay. The Colombian that they've signed. But the thing is can they keep hold of Eze?
Yeah,
And
he's going to be the key. I think if Eze goes, then
they're back at square one.
yeah.
and Mateta.
Unless he goes for a fee so high, you can get 2 replacements for him.
Yeah. Something that doesn't always work out. So can they keep hold of Mateta? And because I think teams that are looking to knock on Europe, the door of Europe, might go, actually, we like the look of him.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You know?
And,
So,
I know Fulham lost, but Fulham are having a really good season. They're 10th, 39 points. They're only 5 points off Manchester City in 4th. I think, what's his name? Who's the manager?
Silva.
He's done really good, man. Like, we've spoken about this being his like 3rd stab at English football. He seems to have found a settled team. He's got Fulham promoted. And now we just see them as like a standard Premier League team.
Yeah.
Where you look at teams like Southampton, Ipswich, you're like, they're going to go back down at some point.
Yeah.
Like Fulham are an established Premier League.
They're not going nowhere.
Yeah, they're a mainstay. And I think what they need to slightly move away from the model of players who haven't quite made it at better teams, find like those gems from abroad who can come in and kick
and move them up.
Yeah.
100%.
yeah,
like
so
a
like,
very
because they
good
got like Traore,
Scouting, Piera.
what's his name? The Arsenal guy. Emil Smith Rowe,
Yeah, Jimenez.
Iwobi, Jimenez.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think they just need to find those gems from outside that haven't played Prem ball, but they can come in and do a
And
job.
move it,
And I think they'll start moving upwards. I might be wrong, but you know, I think that's what they need to do. Moving on to Ipswich 1, Spurs 4. Oh, I'm sorry, am I allowed to call them Spurs?
No. Apparently. when you refer to them, it should be Tottenham Hotspur
And Tottenham Hotspur only.
only, not Tottenham. Not
Anyway,
Spurs.
Ipswich 1, Spurs 4. Spurs. Like, I think it's so weird. Like, have they said the reasoning behind that? Or
They didn't say, but there was speculation
the
around.
club?
Yeah, they didn't say what the reasoning was.
Marketing, I
But,
suspect.
yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah,
Branding,
so-
marketing.
yeah, so those who might not be aware, Spurs have put out official comms to broadcasters and media outlets saying they'd like to be referred to only as Tottenham Hotspur. So not Tottenham, not Spurs, just Tottenham Hotspur, which is a bit odd. But anyway, moving on to this game. Ipswich were a bit unlucky. So before Tottenham took the lead, they hit the crossbar. The Lap had a chance, and someone else. They were very unlucky not to take the lead. But Son and Johnson show make it 2-0 quite quickly by the 26th minute. But Amari Hutchinson does pop up with a really good finish to make it 2-1 at half time. And then it's pretty much all Tottenham second half. Ipswich didn't really offer too much. Jed Spence gets a deflected goal to score his first goal for Tottenham, I believe. Make it 3-1. And then Kulusevski with a neat finish to make it 4-1 in the 84th minute. Pretty straightforward for Tottenham. 3 wins on the bounce. Takes a bit of pressure off Ange Postecoglou, because a couple of weeks ago, talking about could he be sacked, etc. Just going back to Ipswich, has Hutchinson done enough this season to say he might get a move to a Premiership team, even if it's someone coming up or someone?
Yes, he will.
No.
He's
Why?
done enough.
Why? So let's go to Adrian first. Why no Adrian?
He's been okay, but he hasn't shown anything that is above the level he's playing. Like, he's been.
Has he shown enough to say that he can cope at the Premier League?
Pardon?
In the Premier League.
So
No,
what's your mark? So you said no. What's your marker for saying no? Because they've got
decision making. He's had flashes, but there's times where he could pick a better pass. He can make a better run. He's not a constant threat. Like, there's times where the game goes past him. He doesn't. He's okay. A good PR campaign, and that's the way I see it. I don't think no Prem team's going to come in who's been promoted is going to spend. Again, he's at the top of his value. 30 million on him.
But you say that 30 million is not a lot these days. Like, if you could take 30 million gamble.
30 million for him is a lot.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I think any of the teams that come up will, and if he's
Who's
available,
on the verge of coming up?
Burnley,
Sheffield United,
and
Leeds.
Leeds.
They're not spending 30 million.
Never know. Let's see. I'd be surprised if he went back down with Ipswich. I'd be surprised. Even if he were left on loan, just to kind of see.
Yeah, I think he's shown enough to warrant anyone to say he can cope at this level.
The only person in the Ipswich squad who will get ball.
Delap. I think Delap and Hutchinson have done enough. But we'll see.
No, Delap's done enough.
We'll see. Tottenham are 12th, 33 points. Fulham are 10th on 39 points. Can Tottenham catch Fulham and end the season top 10, or do you think it's the bottom half finish for them?
They could take it. They've got enough. They've got enough attacking options, and I think what's helped them out massively is the introduction of Jed Spence.
Yeah.
I think as an outlet, I think that's helped them out a lot.
Yeah, we said that last week. He had a really good
I'd
game.
love to
last
see him back at right back. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, play him over with Doggy for me. Like, yeah, standard.
Yeah.
Tottenham, if they win the Europa League, it's Ange.
Very much. That's a good season for them.
Yeah.
Considering everything they've been through,
yeah,
that's a good season.
With the
Do
injuries.
you think he's just going to hang his hat on it now? Like,
Has to.
would you say,
He has to.
yeah, let's finish 12th and just go all out for the...
Yeah. As a Tottenham Hotspur fan, yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Go for the league. Put everything on the Europa League.
Yeah, I
That's
think
it.
they've got Copenhagen.
And then when's Solanke back?
I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think like United, they just got to go for them.
They've got Alkmaar.
Yeah, Oh, they got to go for them cup.
I think
wins.
United have got Copenhagen.
Yeah, sorry, that's it. Southampton 0, Brighton 4. Just get them gone. Like,
To be fair,
just
the
give everyone
manager
a
said it though. The manager said it. I want to give praise to what's his name though? They lost 4-0, but the Peter Walker.
Oh yeah.
Because that clearance of the line, he got a nasty chop. That chop was dirty. Did you see it? I see Ramsdale go.
No, Ramsdale save it.
No,
but Ramsdale
But
got
he
hands
cleared
on
off the
it, but
line.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that I was like, woo. But because he could use his right foot, they got away with it, boy.
Yeah, so Brighton beat Southampton 4-0 down at St Mary's. João Pedro got the ball rolling, make it 1-0. Ruter made it 2-0. Isaac's boy.
Ramsdale got chipped twice, didn't he?
Yeah, 2 dinks.
2 dinks.
2 dinks. And then Mitoma made it 3-0. And who got the 4th? Hinchelwood. Oh yeah, from the corner, drilled it in. Yeah, Southampton, man. It's just it's bad. Like they were bad under Russell Martin, and I've seen nothing to say that this guy has improved them significantly. Like the first couple games, he done all right, but they're let me look at their lineup.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to make a difference. But he said we're planning to come back up, so we're just looking at who's the Premier League players. You know what I was going to say? It was slightly back. Do you think McKenna's going to get a move? After
I don't think so.
I don't think he is. I was just like,
I don't think he's done his stock any harm. Like I just think he's at the level where he did. Because I remember he took them.
Remember it was like they were talking about United were looking at him and.
No.
So he came in when they were Championship.
I think.
Because remember it was back-to-back promotions, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they were quite low in the Championship when he took over. Yeah, like he's a good coach, good manager, and you've seen things at times this season where you're like, right, Ipswich are playing ball, they're doing okay, etc. But if you're, let's say, Fulham lost Marco Silva tomorrow,
or Palace lost.
Yeah, I don't think they look at McKenna first.
Yeah,
like I think he'll be I think he might be top 5 on the list, but I don't think he'll be top of the list.
I just think when I saw the result against Spurs, I said, "You haven't you haven't done like."
No, I did.
League One. Okay, so that's a good record, and going up to the Premier League first time of Oxford and getting relegated shouldn't do you any harm. Because like I say, they haven't come and embarrassed themselves. Like they've gone and won at Tottenham, etc. Like they've done okay.
But I haven't looked at them and said, "Oh, they're just missing a couple players like that will make them a lot more competitive with the formation or setup." I think some setups he's been a bit naive at times.
The first objective of the season is to stay up. Then obviously your prize money will increase.
Yeah.
And then if you can get more sponsors, better commercial deals, then you can start to build a better squad that can, like you said, be more competitive.
The reason why I say
but just to expect like first season with the team that Ipswich is and the players that they do have, I think anything more than just survival is unfair.
No, I wasn't expecting that. But what I was looking for was how do they set out? Are they doing little? Has he got the team doing little things that if they're better quality players, that they'll have more impact or better form or better results?
It's hard to view it like that because of the players that are already in place.
And the reason why I look at it like that was because we was arguing last season about Burnley and Company. I was saying I can see what Company's doing. I can see what the team's doing. It's just the players haven't got the IQ for what he's doing. In this situation, I don't really see that. So that's all.
No, it'd be interesting. Like I think he'll have a fairly decent managerial career going forward.
Yeah.
So it's fine. And then if we rewind all the way back to Friday, Leicester 0, Brentford 4. We've mentioned about Ruud van Nistelrooy and him taking this job and it not being a real thought-out appointment. It was so evident on Friday night. Brentford were just too good. Wissa puts them 1-0 up. Then Mbeumo makes it 2-0. Norgard makes it 3-0 at half-time. Some Leicester fans were walking out the stadium at that point. And then Carvalho makes it 4-0
yeah.
in the 89th minute. Yeah. Leicester are gone. Southampton are gone. Ipswich are only 5 points behind Wolves. They could make it. They could make something of it.
Yeah.
But
You know,
realistically, it looks
if
like
I was Wolves, I'd put in a cheeky bid for Vardy. Just to, as a guy to come off the bench. Vardy still got it, man. Did you see what he
for
done to...
next season, you mean?
Yeah, for next season. Did you see what he done to... what's his name?
Vardy.
Pinnock. Did you see what Vardy done to Pinnock?
Vardy needs to... I know it was good, but Vardy needs to...
No, but what? Come on for the
Can
last
you see
15...
him?
go back
Can you
to
see
the
him dropping down the leagues? Where do you
No, I
reckon
think...
I think he retires.
Did he sign a new contract to stay in the Prem? If not, I think he might just do one more year in the... Because he doesn't really need to go anywhere else, innit? Like,
he's a legend.
He's a Leicester legend. He's a bit of a... Like, he's in the 100 club in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He's got the record for most consecutive games scored in a row.
Yeah.
Unless he still needs to pay court fees. Like, he needs to...
I'm saying, if I'm a team that's just been promoted or looking to stay up, I'll put in a cheeky bid for Vardy.
I don't know. But yeah, good win for Brentford. That leaves them 11th in the league, 37 points. Aiming for a top 10 finish. Yeah, so quick kind of full league roundup. Liverpool, 11 points ahead of Arsenal now. Arsenal on 53 points, 6 points ahead of Nottingham Forest, who are 3 points ahead of Manchester City and Newcastle. Then Bournemouth, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Brighton, Fulham, Brentford, Tottenham, Palace, Everton, Man United, West Ham, Wolves, Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton. So that's a roundup of the fixtures that have taken place. There's a full set of fixtures this week coming up. The standout one would be Nottingham Forest v Arsenal and Tottenham v Man City.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Man City haven't got a good record down at Tottenham, and Liverpool playing Newcastle. Right, before we finish, we'll just round off on a couple topics. So, the Champions League draw was done on Friday, I believe, and that was after the playoff rounds happened. So, noticeable ones: Real Madrid knocked out Manchester City, Mbappe hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
The boy looked good. Like did we question him at the start of the season?
No.
We said we got to see what he's about in it. See if he can step up, etc. And so far, he has done. Dortmund overcame Sporting. PSG battered Brest on aggregate 10-0. PSV overcame Juventus. Not too much of a surprise, to be honest, because they haven't been playing that well.
There were some good games.
Yeah, Milan.
Was it Feyenoord?
Yeah.
Milan? That was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. Feyenoord overcame Milan. Benfica overcame Monaco on aggregate.
That was a good game as well.
Surprising one for me, Atalanta getting knocked out by Club Bruges, and sorry to our pal Brendan. Celtic put up a very good fight in the Allianz Arena, but they lost 3-2 on aggregate to Bayern Munich. Let's just get the draw up for the... Sorry, my tech is letting me down. Champions League.
Technology.
Villa versus Bruges.
Technology.
What do you reckon for that?
So
fixture?
yeah. So if I just go through them quickly, and you two shout out who you think is going to overcome the tie. So we've got Bruges Villa,
Villa.
Dortmund Lille.
Dortmund, just. Oh no, I'm going to go Lille, you know. I'm going to go Lille.
Benazek.
Dortmund.
PSV Arsenal.
PSV.
Arsenal.
Real Madrid Atletico Madrid.
Real Madrid, just because of the fixtures that Atletico have.
Okay. Feyenoord Inter.
Inter.
Bayern Leverkusen.
Bayern.
Benfica Barcelona.
Barcelona.
PSG Liverpool.
Liverpool.
PSG.
Liverpool.
I knew you'd say that.
Liverpool.
I
PSG.
knew you would say that.
Macolo's going to give Trent
Yeah, it'd be
Nightmares.
interesting. Could be some good
And
games in
Dembele's
the,
gonna give-
quarterfinals. Could be Liverpool Villa. Could be Arsenal Real Madrid. So,
I hope that is the fixture because I would love to see Mbappe really put on a show.
enjoy. Enjoy. And finally, a bit of grassroots news came out. Was it Saturday? I think it was from the FA. So from the start of the 26-27 season, there will be no more five-a-side at the under-7 level. It will be 3v3, a new format that the FA are introducing, and that the 11-a-side format is being pushed back to under 14. So at the minute it's under 13s. So it's a bit of a shake-up for the FA and England football.
7-a-side.
Yeah, so essentially the way that it's going to work is from under 4 to under 6, they're calling it a play phase, so nothing really structured. Under 7s will be 3v3. Under 8s, under 9s, 5-a-side. Under 10 and 11 will be 7-a-side. And under 12 and under 13, 9v9. So I said my son who is within the under 7 to under 8s that age range, and I think that the 3v3 will be pretty good to kind of work on their football skills and their ball handling, etc. I don't really agree with the 11-a-sides being pushed back out to under 14. I personally think it's too late. Adrian, you're of a different persuasion to the 11-a-side argument.
And just going to see my nephew play a few times and just being around other games. It's not like they're reducing the size of the pitch; they're playing a full size pitch. And maybe that's something to do with the managers. They can shorten the pitch and etc. But the amount of space they have available, so then it ends up being the strongest and fastest benefits in those situations. So then there's not much ball control because they're not working under tight pressure because they've got 15, 20 yards around them. Then they haven't got the physical strength to switch the ball. There's loads of little things that it actually ruins the game. It's quite a painful watch.
And just on that point specifically about the space around them, I come across a clip today of I think it was under 7s or under 6s. Under 7s, I want to say it was 2v2s. And it was a proper kids setup. And it was gripping. for their age, they were very good little ballers. But I did notice that it was still on quite a big pitch for a 2v2. And you're right. In that instance, there wasn't much technical ability. A little, but it wasn't much. It was all pretty much about who was the toughest little child in that moment. Because there was a lot of rash tackles and challenges, and it was like, which child is the toughest, can get up and keep going with the ball. It was a really good watch. I'll have to find it and send it in the group chat. But to your point, those are the kind of kids that will excel in those environments. Which, if you extrapolate that out to adult life, what you're saying is we're just going to push through kids that are better athletically and not necessarily technically good. So,
it'd be interesting to see. We've spoken about the coaching in this country, and the FA need to do more about being a bit more progressive, etc. So it looks like they've kind of gone away and looked at it. We have to just wait and see how this pans out.
I always think too, they always talk about Foden being a cage footballer, Grealish being a cage footballer.
Those days are long.
And the reason why they mentioned that is because when we played cage football, it was so tight. And usually because it was more.
You had to keep the ball
You
with
had
it.
to keep the ball. You had to keep it.
Like 20 kids on one cage. When that ball came to you, you had to make the most of it.
You might not see it again for a while.
So I think there's something about, like you said, making the pitch smaller, allowing it. I saw some comments saying, "Oh, are they going to charge the same full price for 3v3 for the pitch?" Which is true. If it's 3 versus 3 and you're still charging £60 for the pitch or £40, whatever it may be, then they need to look at that. But I definitely think it needs to be smaller because watching under 14s and under 13s and 12s on a full 11-a-side pitch, like the kids get excited that they're playing a game at Maidstone on their pitch, on their 3G or Fisher's 3G pitch.
Yeah.
But it's so massive. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's not enjoyable to watch at all.
Yeah.
And the full-size goal as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like they're in a reduced size goal. It's a full-size goal. If I hit it high, very rarely, unless the keeper's 6 foot already, he's lobbing 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like, I think when we next get a coach on, just to kind of get their opinion on it and how they will adapt to their players using that format. Well, yeah, thank you very much, guys. Another good episode to the listeners. Thank you for listening. Please keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting.
Yep.
Got a bit heated this week in the comments. John's head was a bit hot on the Instagram. But yeah.
The irony of some of the fans though. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah. I found it quite interesting that we were told that we shouldn't be commenting on someone's match performance while commentating on the match.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's interesting. Anyway, thank you very much and see you next week. Peace.
Peace.